Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're stepping out of the cold blue glow of our screens to uncover the hidden mechanics of digital dislocation. We're diving into what is honestly a cinematic story of our times, how modern social media algorithms have quietly built an invisible enclosure around us. But more importantly, we're going to figure out how to unlock the door to this algorithmic cage through the profound, absolute power of genuine human connection.
Okay, let's just jump right into this jarring reality from Stanford psychiatrist Dr. Anna Lembke. She brilliantly illustrates how our devices act as literal digital dopamine delivery systems. When we think of addiction, we almost always picture substances, right? But Dr. Lembke points out that this smartphone delivers bright colors, flashing lights, and engaging alerts directly into our visual cortex. It's an actual modern-day hypodermic needle delivering digital dopamine for a wired generation. And the wildest part? The supply is literally infinite.
Part 1. The algorithmic cage, descending into digital isolation. Think about this staggering number for a second. Almost 5 billion of us, that's the vast majority of the connected world, are plugged into these platforms. We've totally replaced the vibrant village square with an endless scrolling feed. But here's the massive paradox. With record-breaking numbers of people connecting online, instead of feeling like we're part of this awesome global community, research shows we are actually feeling more isolated, anxious, and disconnected than ever before. And man, the consequences are stark. This isn't just a matter of, bad habits. It's a full-blown global health issue. Social media addiction rates have reached as high as 31% in some countries around the world. Nearly 1/3 of users in these regions are exhibiting clinical signs of dependency. We're talking obsessive thoughts about getting online, massive mood swings, and experiencing real withdrawal when they simply try to put the phone down. Part 2. Digital dopamine delivery, how the trap is set. So how exactly is the trap set? The absolutely crucial point here is something called variable ratio reinforcement. I know, it sounds like heavy psychological jargon, but let me translate it for you. It is the exact same psychological mechanism that makes slot machines so completely impossible to walk away from. You pull the lever or, you refresh your feed, and you don't know if you're going to get a reward. Maybe it's a like, a comment, or just a crazy new video. That total unpredictability is incredibly stimulating to the human brain, and it practically guarantees that we keep coming back for more. And this builds into a perfect, infinite loop. First, artificial intelligence, which is designed solely to capture your attention for ad revenue, by the way, curates highly personalized content just for you. Second, engaging with that content triggers a massive release of dopamine in your brain's reward center. Third, your brain attempts to balance this unnatural spike by plunging into a dopamine deficit, which creates this profound craving for the next hit. And finally, boom, a compulsive habit is formed. The AI learns exactly what keeps you hooked, and the cage just gets a little bit stronger. The dark data behind all of this shows a direct dose-response relationship between our digital habits and severe psychological distress. Near constant use naturally drives up anxiety. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, breeds incredibly deep loneliness. Late-night scrolling completely suppresses your melatonin, leading to chronic sleep debt. And most alarmingly, severe digital addiction correlates with a 2.63 times higher odds of suicidal tendencies. We are basically trying to soothe ourselves with screens, but the screens are exactly what's making us sicker. Now, here's a stat that completely blew my mind. In real, everyday life, human beings talk about themselves about 30 to 40% of the time. It's just a natural part of conversation. But on social media, the illusion of a curated life pushes that self-focus to a staggering 80%. Our brain's reward centers are highly active when we talk about ourselves, so the platforms encourage us to constantly curate and broadcast our highlight reels, trapping us further and further in this loop of vanity and comparison. Part 3. The modern rat park, the illusion of connection. This brings us to a fascinating psychological metaphor. You see, in psychologist Bruce Alexander's famous rat park experiment, rats kept in isolated, barren cages heavily consumed morphine-laced water. It was their only escape. But rats placed in an enriched environment, a huge, spacious park with other rats, toys, and social interaction, well, they largely ignored the drugs. Today, our hyper-individualistic society and our infinite scrolls serve as that barren cage. We're substituting the rich, complex environment of genuine human connection with the sterile, isolated glow of our devices. And environmental stressors, they play a massive role in this. Objective social isolation, which was definitely exacerbated by events like the pandemic, drives intense anxiety and deep loneliness.
So to cope with that emotional pain and uncertainty, we naturally retreat to our phones. But because the phone only offers a really hollow illusion of connection, the loneliness remains, trapping us even further into smartphone addiction just to cope with the pain.
Part 4. The community cure, stepping out of the cage.
But hey, here is the good news. The scientific and sociological cure for our modern digital burnout is what researchers call dislocation repair. It's not just about gritting your teeth and turning off your phone. It's about actively trading the screen for genuine, warm human contact. Dislocation repair means rebuilding our social networks, finding real-world purpose, and actively integrating ourselves back into a physical, supportive community. When we finally step away from the isolated glow of the screen, we see that community provides the safe, welcoming haven that's absolutely necessary to restore our sanity and happiness. In addiction recovery, a clinical rehab center often serves as a temporary human park, providing vital structure and emotional safety. But for long-term healing from literally any behavioral addiction, including our screens, we have to find and cultivate that enriched community environment out in the real world. Real-world social networks act as the ultimate biological reset. They provide 3 vital pillars. First, emotional support systems to catch us when we fall. Second, genuine connection that heavily reduces those crippling feelings of isolation. And third, accountability, which naturally encourages us to stay present and committed to our own well-being, instead of just retreating into the digital void. And look, there isn't just one magic way to find this. Whether you seek connection through the practical, cognitive behavioral tools of smart recovery, the deep mindfulness and present moment awareness found in Recovery Dharma, or the strong fellowship and spiritual awakening of a 12-step program, the core healing mechanism is exactly the same: community. Connecting with others in a shared, vulnerable space provides a massive boost in resilience against the constant pull of digital escapism. So, what's the game plan here? What should you take away from this explainer to start resetting your own dopamine pathways today? Well, Dr. Lemke highly recommends a 30-day dopamine fast from your problem apps to really allow your brain chemistry to baseline. Go ahead and delete the platforms built on variable ratio reinforcement. But crucially, don't just sit in a barren cage once the apps are gone. Fill that newfound time with tactile, real-world hobbies and intentionally seek out structured in-person communities. Practice mindfulness so you can actually catch the urge to doom scroll right before it takes over.
Recovery thrives in safe spaces where honesty and support replace isolation. I absolutely love that quote. Ultimately, the shift away from digital addiction isn't just about raw willpower. It's about fundamentally shifting your environment from the barren digital cage into the vibrant, beautiful, enriched environment of human life. Honesty, support, and shared presence, those are the real antidotes to algorithms.
So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to chew on the very next time you instinctively reach for your phone. Take a real, honest look at where you spend your energy. Are you investing in a living, breathing community that will actually support you? Or are you simply spending all your time decorating a digital cage? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I seriously challenge you to step out into the rat park of the real world today.